Hey everyone, so I recently bought a 1/2 inch, a 3/8, and a 1/4 inch drive socket set from Tecton, and I wasn't real happy with any of the socket organizing solutions that were out there. They all just seemed kind of random to me. So I wanted to make a more customized solution for organizing my sockets. So today in this video I'm going to show you how I made the socket organizer for my toolbox. Okay, so I just wanted to do kind of a quick overview of how I made the file here in Lightburn. I'm not going to go into too many details on some of the simpler functions like making the circles and the numbers and stuff like that. But just kind of to show you what the file looks like, there's different colors here for different speeds and powers. So depending on if you're engraving or cutting on the MDF, you'll have different colors set for that. So you can see the black color here is for cutting, and then the blue would be for engraving. And then to do all the different extensions and hand tools, you can actually import photos into Lightburn, either photos taken with your phone or just pulled off the internet of whatever tool it is. And then if you right click on the image and just hit trace image, you can pull up this tool that Lightburn has to put a perimeter around the tool. And from there you adjust what's called the threshold until you have a nice outline of your object, and you hit OK. And then after that you can pull a cut file right off the image. So after I have the cut file ready, I ran to Home Depot, got a 1/4 inch piece of MDF that was 2 feet by 4 feet, and brought it here to my local makerspace. And they have this really nice Boss laser with a 150 watt laser tube, so I was able to do all the engraving and cutting here. So after I was done cutting, I brought this back to my shop and I flipped it over and put it on this really thick kind of cardstock poster board that I got. And I just traced an outline, and then I also traced out each of the different holes and spots for the different extensions. With all the socket locations and extension locations marked out, I went ahead and pulled out some hot glue, and I bought these magnets just off Amazon, which I'll leave a link down below. And then I just hot glued them everywhere that would be under a socket or an extension. I ended up running out of the longer magnets, so I used these kind of smaller circle ones that I had. But I definitely recommend using the longer, thicker ones that I got. They seem to be a lot stronger than the small ones. So I cut out the poster board, and I also cut out a piece of hardboard the same size. This just kind of acts as a buffer between the magnets and the bottom of the drawer in the tool cabinet, so it doesn't stick too hard. So I just used some hot glue here to hold the different layers together. I know it's not going to hold super strong, but I don't really need it to. And then on top of the poster board, I put this drawer liner that came with my tool cabinet, and this will be the pad that sits directly under the different sockets and extensions. And then on top of that drawer liner, I put the MDF socket organizer. I used a razor blade here just to trim off this excess drawer liner, and I'll probably reuse this as a spot to hold different ratchets and stuff. After all that was done, I could put it in the top drawer and fill it up. So everything fit pretty good, but for some of the sockets that were really big, it didn't seem like the magnets could really hold them down all that well. And also for some of the other sockets, the magnets actually magnetized them, so they were kind of leaning and touching each other. So I thought the best thing to do would be to cut another piece of 1/4 inch MDF and glue these together so I had a 1/2 inch deep tray. And then while the glue was drying, I just put some sockets in a few of the holes in all the different corners just to line up all the holes nicely. Alright, so round 2, I could just put the socket organizer right back over the top and fill it back up with the sockets. Alright, so that's how I made the socket organizer for the top drawer here on my tool cart. Just a couple things I'll mention before I end the video. Um, I'm going to show you a clip of me like opening and closing the drawer really hard just to show you that the sockets actually stay really well in the organizer. And the other thing I'll mention is I'm not sure I necessarily needed all the magnets. Once I made the MDF 1/2 inch thick, it seemed to hold the sockets really well anyway. So I think the magnets are pretty optional, but they do kind of have a nice little feel when you drop the socket in. There's a nice little click that happens. All right, so I think that'll do it for this one. See you next time.